How's it going, everyone? This is Mustard here with a slightly different form of video for you today. Today's agenda is going to be a review of a new arcade stick that has been sent to me by the folks at Venom Gaming UK. They are a third-party accessory and peripheral manufacturer based in the UK. They do all sorts of products from like controller charging decks and controllers and stuff like that. But they decided to send me one of their, so I can show you this, arcade, you can't hear me over the box I assume, arcade fight sticks. This one is compatible with Xbox One, PS4 and PC. And I'm going to be doing a video review of it today. Immediately I will apologize off the bat for the video quality. This is being done with my webcam that is not normally blown up to this size. But it's the best I've got, I'm afraid, and I'm sure it will do the job just fine, but a quick disclaimer. So I'm going to go into how the stick works and its most notable features, as well as giving some of my own personal opinions after playing it for quite a decent amount of time off stream, just trying to get used to it, as I'm not predominantly a stick player, but I have used fight sticks in the past for various games, and I'll be looking to give this one a try a bit more. So let's get stuck into it. So this is the stick itself out of the box, as you can see. Something you would have noticed immediately is that the stick itself is actually quite smaller than a lot of fight sticks you'll see at tournaments nowadays. This is up and down really depending on your preference as a player. I personally don't mind it. My history with arcade sticks definitely comes from these smaller, more portable arcade sticks from back when I used to use them. But I do know there are people out there that prefer the larger ones as well. So it comes down as to what you prefer, really. I think this is quite convenient in terms of transport and just getting it around, you know, throwing it in a bag and stuff like that, the way you would normally carry it around at events. So this suits my needs a bit more, but I can definitely see why some players can prefer the bigger one as well. So I think that comes down to preference a lot of the time. Obviously, I don't think this is hurt by the weight. This is actually quite a weighty stick for what it is. As you can see on the back, I'll try and show you. It does have the four corners, which are some sort of rubber to keep it in place to stop it slipping around if you do have it on your lap. One more time, I'd like to apologize for the video quality. Again, this is my webcam. I'm kind of just making the best of what I've got so far. But I'm sure we can see what's going on anyway. But yeah, so it's quite a weighty stick. It does have the rubber grips to stop it from slipping about. And it does have all of the control options that you would want in a fight stick. Of course, you've got your basics. You've got the joystick itself. This is a 8-button arcade stick, not 6, as you can see, which is really good. I personally always preferred like having more options. I know a lot of games will only really require you to have the first kind of, these 6 at first. Typically these don't have to get used, but I definitely prefer having the options. So having the option for more, in my opinion, is a big plus, as well as your other options up here. You can see you've got 3 buttons. This is PlayStation Home, Select Back or Share, and your Turbo function. Now, the Turbo is fun to have at home. Typically not something you're going to use at tournaments because Turbo is not really ever allowed, but the fact that the stick has it means that obviously at home you can have some fun and mess around with it, or just do some towers if you're an MK11 player, which is what people do apparently. And then you've got your 3 switches up here, which are generally for your inputs. Of course, this is a multi-platform arcade stick, and these switches will determine which console you're playing on to which style of input you're getting. Which is definitely something you need to be paying attention to if you are swapping from different systems regularly. So now I've talked about the general visuals and functions of the stick itself. I want to talk about how to get it to connect to your console of choice. Even though this is a multi-platform arcade stick, for the purpose of the video today, we are going to be doing it on PS4, as you can see in the bottom corner, because the PS4 requires you to jump through an extra hoop that you do not have to do on the Xbox One or PS4. As you can see by the box down here, you may not be able to read it, but the stick counts as a legacy device. So if I press like the OK button or move the stick, you'll notice nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to affect the screen down there. That's because in order to get this to function on a PS4, there are 2 connections down here. One is this hardwired cable that goes to just a USB that plugs into the PS4, and this is a USB slot that is intended for a micro USB cable. And this USB is a micro USB cable that is leading into a normal PlayStation 4 controller that you can see is currently connected as. The reason for this is because in order to get the stick to work, it must be connected to a PS4 pad, of which this is now linked with while the console is turned on. So pressing X on the pad will now let me progress. This controller must be connected in order for the stick to work at all times, but now it has been done, I now have control again. As you can see, I'm going to be able to move around the menu once it decides to load as the stick. As now I've jumped through that hoop, the stick will now work. As you can see, I'm now moving around the menus. So that's something you have to do to get it to work on PS4. It is a bit of a pain, I'm not going to lie, but it is a way to make it work, of course. I know not all modern sticks require you to do this. I know this was very much a early PS4 workaround that you would do for legacy support. I know it's not intended anymore, so it's a bit of a pain, but the fundamental point is that it does still work anyway. It just requires you to have a PlayStation 4 pad connected at all times, which if you're at an event can be a bit inconvenient, but if you're playing at home just for general use, it really isn't a huge problem because, I mean, you're at home, right? You're going to have a pad if you own the system. So let's move on to the actual how the stick feels and what it's like in gameplay. So as far as control goes, you'll notice I've got the stock parts. I wanted to keep it as vanilla as possible for the sake of the review. The stock stick is, or the stock joystick is a square gate, which I know a lot of people prefer. I certainly do. And then you've got your kind of standard stock buttons. You will notice quite quickly that they aren't the highest quality parts out there. But they are enough to just play with the stick, enjoy it, and have fun. I've been playing with them for the best part about a week and a half at the moment, and I haven't noticed any glaring issues. But if you were to contrast it to some of, I suppose, the highest quality parts out there, you will notice the difference quite quickly. However, it doesn't stop you from kind of just playing with the stick and being able to do what you want to do. It's just a matter of, I suppose, general cleanliness. I've not noticed them being unresponsive at all. The buttons have definitely been okay. I think the stick is the most notable thing that you'll notice the lack of highest quality after playing it for quite a while. If I was to do like a wave dash, for example, or like, you know, dash blocking in MK, this is something that requires quite crispy timing. I don't have it perfect at the moment, obviously, but it can be done, and obviously it's possible on this stick. It's just not the cleanest, but it definitely still worked, which is the important thing. However, if you do notice you're having issues with the stock parts, it even says on this arcade sticks listing on the Venom Amazon page, which I will be linking in the video description and on the video itself throughout. You can actually swap out the parts quite easily with something like, for example, like if you want a Sanwa joystick or Sanwa parts, which are regarded to be very high quality. You can do that, which I know a lot of players will do with a stick like this, especially for the price, which is something I'll be talking about in the next segment. But there's definitely nothing wrong with doing that either, right? Just picking up the stick and then swapping out for other parts if that's what you want to do, if that's what you feel the need to. You might not even feel the need to do that. You might just enjoy picking up the stick and just using it as is for a while. There's nothing wrong with that either. But generally speaking, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It feels very responsive. Again, I'm not typically predominantly a stick player, but I've been having a lot of fun. I've been really enjoying it, honestly. It's been nice to use again. I've wanted to play on a stick again for a while, so it's been nice to have a reason to. And that leads me on to the final point in terms of overall what I think value for the stick itself. So now I've kind of outlined the basic features of the stick and its compatibility. And generally what I think of it to play on, I feel like there are two kinds of players that will benefit the most from this specific stick. And the reason for that is the price. So as of this video being made, this stick is £55 on Amazon. For a brand new arcade stick, that is super cheap for what it is. For a stick that is compatible across 3 systems, you know, PC, Xbox One, PS4, they are the main systems nowadays, right? If you want a stick for consoles, they are what you want. And for £55, this is pretty much a one-size-fits-all stick in terms of compatibility, which is already by itself a really strong point, I think. But if you are a pad player looking to give stick a try, to give it a go, see if you like it, I think this is a perfect starting point for that because of the price and the amount of consoles it's compatible with. I feel like for £55, you really can't go wrong. That's near enough the same price as a brand new PS4 pad for the most part, and I think that's amazing value. I know that's what I did back in the day is I picked up a stick that was quite cheap at first, just used its stock parts to see if I liked how it felt and got on with it generally, and then when I realized I liked it, I just picked up the highest quality parts I could find online and I just swapped them out, which even says you can do so on this item's listing on Amazon, which is something I can see a lot of people doing. It's definitely what I would do with this stick if I was to use it as a primary control system. And I think it's a really good point for new stick players who are looking to transition from pad and give it a go. This really should be a great starting point for you out there. And the second type of player I think might benefit from this is existing stick players who are looking for a stick that, again, is out of the box, compatible with multiple systems, and also more portable. I realistically don't see this stick swaying existing stick players if they already have a larger stick they might be using with the parts they already want. But if you are an existing stick player with, again, like I said before, most sticks are quite large nowadays to be a bit more arcade authentic. If you actually prefer smaller sticks, this is a good one for that, I think. Obviously, this is a lot more portable. You can already see it. It's quite a tidy size. And that's the second kind of player I think will benefit from it. I definitely think this is definitely more aimed at new stick players looking to get into it from pads and giving it a try. That's definitely what I'd recommend, and that's definitely what I would do if I was using this myself. So there you have it. I would like to extend a huge thanks to Venom UK for sending me the stick to have a bit of a bash around on and see what I thought. Their website is venomuk.com. They are Venom Gaming UK on Twitter, and I will be linking all of their socials in the description for this video, so if you want to see what other products they have, or especially this stick, if you want to pick it up, you can do just that. Final wording about the stick itself, I think honestly it's incredible value for what it is. I think that's definitely the biggest strength the stick has going for it, is just its value for money. For £55 for a stick that's compatible with 3 systems and has parts that are interchangeable, I think is incredible value for money, in terms of the fact that the stock parts, they're not even unplayable, they're just not the best. So if you want the best, you can just pick up the best parts you can find and just swap them out. It's not a hard process, and it's something that I know many people do, and I can imagine will do with a stick like this. But that's even if you feel the need to. I feel like if you're looking to get into stick, you're looking to give it a go, and you're a pad player or something like that, and you want to give it a try, this truly is a really good starting point for that. Again, I don't think it's going to sway existing stick players that may already have alternatives that they use, unless they're looking to downsize to something smaller that's a bit more portable, of which, again, I think this stick is really good for that too. But overall, I think it's a solid product, especially for the price. So once again, thank you very much, Venom UK, for sending it my way. I hope you viewers at home really enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll get to see more of them in the future. I know we don't typically do a lot of reviews on this channel, but we do enjoy the opportunity to do it when we can. And I've had a lot of fun bashing around with this. So thanks very much, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.